Thank you everyone for coming. On behalf of Menslink and the young men we support, I really just want to thank each and every one of you for the commitment you've showed us and the help you gave us at the PM's 11 game last month. And I'd just like to take this very brief opportunity, just a couple of minutes, to tell you why the work we do is so important and why the support you gave us is so important as well. Last year, Menslink celebrated its 10th anniversary, and in that time we've helped over 1,000 young Canberran men reach their full potential. Young men who are socially isolated, young men who are at risk of disengaging from society, or sometimes who just need a hand getting through difficult times with the least amount of harm to themselves and to those around them. Our first point of contact with these young men is often through their mums. Single mums like Renee, who sent us this email earlier last year. Good evening. I'm really struggling with my teenage son, Sean, 14. He's skipping classes at school, smoking, disrespectful and very lazy. I've tried talking to him, had him in counselling, and nothing seems to work. I'm a single parent with 2 boys and trying to hold down my full-time job with the stress of Sean. I get calls from his school almost daily and I can't take the stress anymore. His father has chosen not to be a part of his life. I've tried to get his dad to help support him and have access to him, but I just get abused. Sean was diagnosed with ADHD when he was 6 years old. He constantly stirs his brother up and fights. Can you please contact me and offer me some assistance before I have a breakdown? Renee. Now, young Sean is not a bad kid, but he does need guidance. And without that guidance, he runs the risk of coming seriously off the rails, dropping out of school, violence, crime, alcohol abuse, drugs, or worse. Now, that's where Menslink comes in. We provide free counselling and mentoring to young blokes like Sean, helping to reduce their social isolation, providing them with guidance, positive male role models, and helping them get through tough times. Now, why do we focus on young men? Because despite what you might think, young blokes are doing it tough. The statistics are overwhelmingly stacked against them compared to their female counterparts. Nearly 1 in 5 of them, or 17%, do not live with their dads, so don't have a consistent family role model. They suffer the same rates of mental illness as young women, around 25%, but are 3 times less likely to get help for that. Their school dropout rates are nearly double that of young women. Youth unemployment and illicit drug use is around 20% higher. In Canberra's juvenile justice system, there is a 9-to-1 ratio of young men to young women inmates, rising to an astounding 24-to-1 ratio in the adult system. And finally, suicide, where 4 out of every 5 deaths are male. Suicide remains the leading cause of male death in every age category from 15 right through to 44. In fact, in 2010, 1,816 men took their own lives, compared with the entire national road toll in the same year of only 1,368. Most of these men were younger than me. Too many young men are finding themselves beset by depression, loneliness and anxiety. Too many young men respond to their problems with alcohol, drugs, violence and crime. Too many young men take their own lives when things seem hopeless and they don't have the support networks to get them through. In fact, just today, around the country, 5 men woke up and decided to kill themselves. Tomorrow, another 5 men will die by suicide, and again the next day. At Menslink, we believe prevention is much more effective than intervention later on when problems have got out of hand. We can't replace fathers, but we can respond to cries for help. And of course, our mentoring and counselling services are absolutely free to anybody in need. Menslink gets young men back on track when they stumble. Through our counselling and volunteer mentoring, we provide support and guidance to help them and their families avoid becoming part of these statistics that I've mentioned. Now, our preventative programs cost as little as $5,000 per young man per year. Yet the community cost of a heavy drug user or a career criminal can be as high as $2 million. It seems that prevention is not only more effective, but thousands of times cheaper as well. Let me finish by talking about just one of these young men. A young man who started on the journey back to positive choices and society engagement. A young bloke with great potential. His name's Sean. You might remember him from earlier in my speech. Again, I'll let his mum Renee do the talking. Since Sean commenced the program, I've already seen some changes in his behaviour. He's been getting on better at school, getting on better with his younger brother, and turning the TV off in the afternoons to go outside and play with him. I don't get nearly as many calls from his school. These are huge steps and I'm really impressed. While it's early days, seeing the small changes in Sean so far, I'll be enrolling my other son Jason into your program next year. Sean has since said to me that he now wants to be a mentor for other boys without a dad in their lives. This made me really proud, and I'm very glad that I found Menslink. I believe more families in the future should seek out Menslink for their sons. Thank you, Renee. We really appreciate your support, and importantly your support in spreading this important message around the Canberra community, because at the end of the day, we believe every young bloke deserves a good innings. Thank you.